we're gonna jump on into this. This came about as I'm already doing my ongoing hip hop history series on YouTube known as The Culture, where I break it down year by year. Right now, I'm up to the year 1984. So then we had the Fat Joe incident pop off some months back, where he was claiming that blacks and Puerto Ricans specifically created hip hop 50-50. I had severe disagreements with it, and then after speaking with my OG,
Yeah.
he gave me some different insight. So while I'm never gonna back down off of the rap aspect, hip hop consists of really five pillars: rapping, DJing, breakdancing, graffiti, and the fifth pillar, knowledge of self. And I dare say a sixth pillar, sneaker culture.
Hell yeah. Swag just in general.
Exactly. But the long and short, fast forward, shit was rocky in the beginning, and then at some point after that peace treaty got brokered between the blacks and the Puerto Ricans, then there was a coming together, and a lot of those members came together and joined the Zulu Nation, including, cats like Crazy Legs from the Rocksteady crew and many others, from breakdancing, graffiti, etc., etc. To wrap up the rest of the pillars, rapping, we already know what that is and who that is. Blacks have continuously dominated that pillar of hip hop from the beginning to now. DJing, we dominated up to a certain point until people international started to kind of get involved. So that's more diverse. Graffiti, Latinos definitely, once they got involved with it, they definitely entered that pillar of hip hop and dominated that field. No question. I can never take that away from them. They not only dominated it, but they preserved it to where graffiti is still a thing in 2025. Breakdancing, once we turned over the keys to the house of breakdancing over to them, y'all got that. They have been the faithful custodians of that pillar of hip hop. Now, my only comment is, or criticism, obviously the Olympics where they had that crazy white boy from Australia looking crazy out there. You know what I'm saying? They were supposed to have been better on that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all claiming y'all the guardians of this breakdancing culture. Y'all should have never allowed that crazy ass boy. He was supposed to have auditioned. He just looked like he came off the street and then tried to dance. Like, no. But anyway, let's go on ahead and jump into these contributions. First and foremost, right out the gate, this cat right here, Lee Quiones, he starred in this movie called Wild Style, which was basically, really a documentary documenting the street culture in the early days of hip hop culture, even though this movie focused specifically more so on the graffiti aspect. But these devils better stop fucking with my live, man. So yeah,
Right.
Lee Quiones, to give this man his flowers, it was him and Fab Five Freddy, who I think I told you, one of my little mans in Brooklyn, that's his uncle. He was also the host of Yo MTV Raps. He was also a member of the Fabulous Five graffiti crew along with Lee Quiones. Hence, my man's name, Fab Five Freddy. But that's his partner as far as at that time coming up. It was him and Lee Quiones that helped bring graffiti to a larger scale. Instead of cats just being grimy out there on the block or in the train yards tagging up buses and trains, these dudes was bringing like paintings, graffiti paintings and photos over to like London, Milan, shit like that, to where the upper echelon of the art world was like, we want to fuck with this. We like this. It looks intriguing. All of that type of shit. You know what I mean? So they help elevate graffiti to a
When you
modern.
say they, who are you speaking on?
I'm like you probably unable to see my screen, but
Oh no, let me click it. Oh no, yeah, we're not. We only see Lee.
yeah, Lee
Oh
Key.
no, we see it. We see it.
Yeah, he right there.
Go him.
Like
Okay.
the motherfucker right there.
Yeah, no, my bad.
But yeah. So, they help elevate graffiti from, a street thing to high modern art. We're gonna move on to DJ Disco Wiz, B-boy,
Hmm.
graffiti artist, and first Latin DJ.
That's crazy. He looks like that black and white picture. He looks like a lot of like a few people that I know, a few black people that I know. That's crazy.
So, like we talked about before, whenever you have a first, that first implies that other people were doing something and you happen to be the first of your group to participate in that thing. First woman in space. That implies other people were already there that were men. So I throw that out there for those who need to hear it. So DJ Disco Wiz emerged on the scene in 1975, and we'll keep this thing moving. Shout out to him and his contributions to the culture. Next up, Jay-Z has bigged up this group. So the Cold Crush Brothers, that was a popular group in the really late 70s. They started in the mid 70s, but about the late 70s, early 80s, they were kind of doing their thing a little bit stronger. That group, the Cold Crush Brothers, consisted of four brothers. Their DJ Charlie Chase, who is the Puerto Rican brother on
Wait,
the.
Dre, is that song that goes, check it out now? Is that them?
It might be because
No,
they
I don't think so.
the
Maybe I'm
way
fat.
the way they with their songs, the choruses and their songs were totally different than a lot of the formats of their songs was different from a lot of songs at that time, which make them stand out. But DJ Charlie Chase is a hip hop legend and a contributor. I want to give him his flowers and his props. So he started doing this thing in 1975. All right, moving on to Crazy Legs, who in previous videos I had smoke for only because he was talking reckless against my boy Lord Jamar. This hip hop legend and b-boy legend, he started breakdancing in 1977. At the age of 16, he moved up to where he became president of the Rocksteady crew by the year 1982. He also starred in, I believe he also starred in Wild Style. I believe, based on what I did research, he gave, he was a consultant in the movie Flashdance, and he also played a stunt double to Jennifer Bill for the final scene where she does a breakdancing routine. He played the actual stunt double for her in that movie. But this gentleman is still the president of the Rocksteady crew to this day, and salute to him. But I will say he was out of pocket for disrespecting Lord Jamar on that BS. But we're going to keep this thing positive and keep it moving. One of his quotes, he says, I represent a culture that was created by kids who were just trying to survive. Now it's in the Olympics. Next up, we got Prince Whipper Whip, who you probably have never heard of in your life, because I never heard of him in my life until I started doing this research. I was born in 1976. He started in 1977. But he was part of a few different groups of that time, but nevertheless, he was your first Latin rapper. Moving on to the legendary Mr. Magic. Now, going back to which one of the gentlemen in this picture do you think is Latin and which one do you think is black?
Latin. Damn. I'm gonna say on the right is he Latin, on the black and the left is he.
And this is what I be saying. The only difference is language and culture. One is black and one is Latino. Mr. Magic, the brother with the business shirt and tie, is Mr. Magic, the number one DJ for hip hop at the time. Well, because he was the only DJ really, as far as like not street DJs. There was plenty of DJs from a street and a club level doing their thing from a hip hop perspective, but he's the first DJ to work at a radio station and give airtime to rap songs. So, as you see in the picture here, it says WBLS. This radio station has always been a R&B station. I don't know what it is now. It could be rap now, but it was always a R&B station. So they would let him come on the radio at 10 o'clock at night, and then he would start playing some rap songs from 10 to 2 at night. So you had to stay up late to put your little cassette in and record whatever he played. And that's how you got whatever new hot shit that week or that night. You know what I'm saying? Biggie rapped about him and Juicy. Nas rapped about him. Like mad MCs rapped about him because this dude is a legend for damn sure, without a question, along by his co-host, Marley Marl, who was also a DJ and would become one of the hottest producers for everybody like, LL Cool J, damn near everybody in the 80s at one point
Oh
or
yeah,
another.
he was in somebody's song, Molly Mall.
Exactly. So now we're at the year 1979, which that was also 1979. But 1979, we're going to give some shine to Lady Pink, who was a pioneer, early female that's out there doing graffiti at this in the time where it was mostly men or boys doing graffiti out there on the trains and shit like that. Shorty was, one of the few females out there putting that work in, bombing trains and all that fly shit. And over
Okay.
time, she, transitioned as well from doing graffiti to where she ended up starting to do actual high modern art, having her shit downtown,
Hmm.
Fifth Avenue art gallery type fly shit. So, shout out
That's
to her.
fire.
And for those listening in the chat that are Latino, feel free to, hit some of the other people, bring them on in. You know what I mean? This is a lot to cover. We still got at least 20 more slides to go through of me giving flowers to those in the Latino community and their contributions to the culture, and not only to the culture, but creating a whole separate other culture, which we'll go through as the timeline evolves. Next, we have Mr. Wiggles. He was a b-boy. Cause see, yeah. So that's the other thing. A lot of these,
Wait,
um,
Mr. Wiggles? Did the Wiggles jack this?
who are the Wiggles that you talking about?
The Wiggles are those four white dudes that used to sing kid songs.
Yeah, yeah, that's something totally unrelated.
Oh, okay.
This cat is from 19. Really, obviously he was doing this thing earlier, but around 1980, dude was b boy, probably even earlier than that, but b boy, graffiti artist, master of popping and boogaloo, visual artist, educator, and cultural ambassador. So, like I said, the Latinos definitely locked down the pillars of hip hop for graffiti and breakdancing without a question. So if we're gonna look at it like that, then yes, you could say they definitely helped build this thing 50-50. So even in my previous rants, I can admit when I'm wrong once I've been presented with new information. You know what I'm saying? But let's go on ahead and continue. So the culture back then, Bree, you had to like if you was in the culture, you was in it. Like if you wasn't doing like you was doing probably multiple things. Some people might have just only did this or only did that, but the people who evolved, started doing one thing and then they would end up doing another thing as far as in the culture. So how you see he was a b-boy, he did graffiti first and then transitioned into the dancing, hence the nickname Mr. Wiggles, and at his title Master of Popping and Boogaloo.
Oh, okay.
And Vico C, 1985, released the first all Spanish rap album. At the time of the early 80s, you had people in other countries trying to rap. I'm not going to disrespect them and say trying to rap. They were rapping, but they were literally emulating the New York flow and voice and everything. You know what I mean? Because New York was the blueprint. So when you have cats that's saying, okay, I'm going to be authentic to my culture, but still do this rap thing, this is an example of a cat that this is why he's the founding father. Well, they say he's the founding father of reggaeton. But at this time of 1985, he's a rapper. So Vico C and DJ Negro. And peep the picture. Peep the picture. That's all I'm saying. Just keep this image in your mind. This man is the founding father of reggaeton. But we ain't get to reggaeton from the timeline. We early, but moving on. So shout out to Vico C and DJ Negro. Alright, boom. Oh yeah, let me give a shout out to JV in the chat. Shout out to El Fuego. Shout out to you. Shout out to Moni. Shout out to Dozen. Bring your people in. We covering Latin contributions to the hip hop culture. Pull up, bring your people, invite them, and this is gonna be a history fest for people that y'all know that probably ain't got the shine that they have felt that they deserve in the larger conversation of hip hop and rap. All right, so Lisa M, 1989. Before a Cardi B, she was the first Spanish female superstar. Once again, her album was all Spanish. You know what I mean? And from that standpoint, you got to put respect on it. She wasn't trying to, be down there trying to rap like somebody from Puerto Rico. Like somebody from the Bronx. She was where she was at, rapping in all Spanish, just like Vico C. Like this is what we doing. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to her, 1989. And Tony Touch, I remember I brought a couple of his mixtapes back in New York in like around 94, 95. This was during the mixtape era in New York City of your Ron G's, your doo-wops, DJ SNS, like your blend tapes. This cat is a mixtape legend. But I backdated him with 1980 only because, like I just mentioned, most people that participated in the hip hop culture started as one thing and became something else. He started as a b-boy in the 1980s. At some point, by the late 90s, the late 80s, early 1990 or so, he becomes a DJ. And not only becomes a DJ, but becomes one of the hottest mixtape DJs in New York City, period. Just to put that respect on his name. So, and then later on, he would become a music producer. So, I appreciate his journey and his evolution. 1989, Mellow Man Ace, the godfather of Spanish rap / first Latino with a hit single. Also known as Sin Dog's brother, the founder of Cypress Hill, Mellow Man Ace, which I learned all of this while doing the research. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Mellow Man Ace. I want to say the single was this man founded Cypress Hill. He's one of the early American-based Latino rappers that had a hit single on the Billboard charts. I think the single was called Mentirosa. If y'all in the chat, drop that song, man. Moving on to the cat who I definitely know, Gerardo, first Latino rap star, Bonafide, 1990. Rico Suave. That was that shit. That was that joint right there, Bree. But, you know, too bad he didn't have like a major follow up. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he definitely, his shit was on MTV. It was on VH1. If your shit was on VH1, that's when you know you crossed all the way over. My man went, he just went out of there. I don't know no lyric in that song other than Rico Suave. But that was that shit. This duo right here, when I was a young aspiring rapper back in the, early 90s, me and my peeps, we went up to NYU radio station, the college radio station. So it wasn't just a college radio station. This was a legendary spot that every rapper in New York City had to pass through to even get on the record exec's radar. If Stretch and Bobito played you, motherfuckers up in the offices was like, who that? Bobito Garcia, aka DJ Coco Chanel. His partner, Stretch Armstrong. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, we putting the focus on Bobito Garcia, the duo. They help bring in the careers of everybody from the Wu-Tang Clan, Nas, Biggie, Jay-Z, you name them in the 90s. They came to that station and rapped for them on their late night show when nobody knew who the fuck they were. So yeah, and I came through there, what was it? It was 94 when we came through there, you know what I'm saying? Alright, moving on. So now we starting to get to a point where, like, if you've seen any of them Marvel movies where they talk about timelines and timelines starting to diverge and split, we're getting close to that splitting point. So this cat right here, DJ, hopefully I'm pronouncing it correctly, DJ Playero, advocate of Puerto Rico's hip hop movement, and down there, he also was an iconic mixtape DJ. He was really popping around 1991 when he kind of got bubbling. He probably was doing it before, but like anything, you doing your shit secretly, building your craft, and then by the time you ready to come out into the spotlight, that's what it is. All right, so bam, that's what that shit was. Dude is a legend in the scene. 1991, DJ Playero, the man who created a lot of chaos, talking greasy against the very blacks in America who helped make him famous, who like he is today. Fat Joe. Regardless of my personal feelings about him, Fat Joe is one of the most successful Latin MCs in hip hop. Point blank period. There's no getting around it. But is he one of the most successful MCs ever? Is he like a top 5, top 10, top 20, top 30, top 40? No. We got to just keep that where it is. We just got to keep that 1,000. You know what I'm saying? Fat Joe has become the most successful, and he is been able to stay relevant for all these decades. I will give him that much. He drops a hit out of nowhere every 3 or 4 years. He may find some young talent to attach himself to. So whether it was a Big Pun, Remy Ma, Cool and Dre down in Miami, DJ Khaled down in Miami, he's gonna stay with some way to remain relevant. But he's also the reason why the BET Awards got canceled. But we're gonna move on. But he came with the single Flow Joe 1993. It was a nice joint. The community embraced him, showed him nothing but love. So that's all I really got for y'all. Here's a face and a name that you probably don't know. My man do look crazy because he old. He probably looked crazy when he was young. Lance Rivera. This thing reads like a laundry list. So His claim to fame, this is Biggie's man, Christopher Wallace, aka Biggie. So when you heard about back in the 90s with Jay-Z stabbing this is the Rivera that Jay-Z allegedly hit up. Now, the
Oh shit,
why?
I never knew that.
Yeah, yeah. The why, I don't know about all of that. I heard something, but I don't even remember what I heard. So going back to people's evolution in the hip hop culture, I
Right.
forgot he might have been a street corner cat along with Biggie, but he politicked and took his opportunities and somehow went from being a street dude to becoming a record executive, a film producer, a TV
Didn't
show.
Biggie put him in that position technically?
Yes, yes, yeah, directly and indirectly. Because
Yeah.
once again, that was Biggie's man. Matter of fact, signed Cameron. Biggie and Lance Rivera formed the record company Undies Entertainment. Cameron was the first artist that Biggie signed to their label because Biggie was planning on leaving Diddy to start, and well, not start. They already started the label, but to run Undies Entertainment with his man once he had got out of the contract with Puffy, but Puffy had his ass da 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 out in L.A. But that's conjecture. You know what I'm saying? But that's what not only I think, a lot of people think. But dude was a oh yeah, he signed Junior Mafia, he signed Cameron, he signed Charlie Baltimore, if you remember her. He signed this group out of Philly called Dutch and Spade. Look, trying to give you some Philadelphia history in there as well. So Lance Rivera was a Latin cat that was in the streets, in the black circles, and most likely he identified as black, even though he has a Latinx culture, an important figure in rap around that time.
Oh, my girl JV, I think is in here. Hey, my girl Jeanette.
What's up? Sure,
It says JV joins.
well, she welcome to come up into the thing if she want.
She probably with her daughter.
Okay.
Hey Jeanette. Appreciate you coming through.
Yeah, yeah. Just trying to give this Latin contribution history to the hip
Oh
hop
yeah,
culture.
she's super Spanish.
So we're gonna move on to the next one. DJ Nelson. So now we starting to have that times the splitting occur. 1994. So you had Latinos participate in various aspects of the hip hop culture from the late 70s coming up to this point, but you've only had one or two real superstars in a almost 20-year period. It is what it is as far as the American culture, but at this pivotal year of 1994, DJ Nelson is credited as the co-architect of the Puerto Rican hip hop sound and the reggaeton sound, along with our guy who we touched on earlier, Vico C, who's the godfather of reggaeton. So I just want y'all to keep them names and keep them linked together as we give homage and give these flowers. Shout out to Mr. Fly Guy 24. Shout out to El Fuego 87. All right, so boom, we're gonna keep this thing moving. Boom, the God, Big Pun, dead or alive, and most people's probably top 10,
Big fun.
possibly top 5. This is the one man that I feel, without a fucking question of a doubt, that because everybody would love to talk about Eminem and all of this. If he was to battle Eminem one on one, he washing Eminem. Put a 1 in the chat if you feel that Big
What?
Pun would wash the fuck out of Eminem.
Yeah, I can't even make that statement, but that's crazy because I never heard nobody say nothing like that. But I mean, He's
Big
dead, Big Pun. So I guess
Big
that's probably
Pun,
why people don't.
and you still. I'm gonna have to just credit it to you just being young. Big Pun is in a lot of people's top 5 dead or alive.
Oh damn. Okay. No,
He
I
is
know he's
he is
legendary, but
nice. You feel
oh,
me?
okay.
This nigga would dismantle Eminem. Like Eminem is nice at rapping, but Big Pun is nice
Oh,
at
now I gotta
rapping
go
and
to
making the shit
Threads,
make
Dre.
sense. Eminem will give you
Ask what
some
they think about Threads.
Eminem, and I fuck with Eminem too, but Eminem is gonna give you the Hannibal, Flannable, Hannigan, Flanagan, I'm the man again, Bannigan. Big Pun is saying I got the Mac in the back of the act, and if a nigga fuck around, he gonna get clapped in the back. Like, yo, his man, fuck out of here. So obviously, this is close to me from a historical standpoint. I was still working in the music industry up in NY at the time. Loud Records, who Big Pun album got released on. This this shit was like the fucking Puerto Rican Day Parade. The day that his album dropped, it was crazy. Like when his album dropped, it was like on some. I would have to compare it to like a DMX level rollout. Like the shit, the streets was going, the city was going crazy when Big Pun dropped that motherfucking album. We'll keep this thing
Yeah,
close.
I'm gonna throw that up on Threads and see what they talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
That
So,
statement you
but
just made.
yeah, and put the poll. Do you think Big Pun would wash Eminem in a one-on-one battle? They gonna go crazy. Trust me.
Okay, I'm gonna go full in one second.
Before we even move off of him, he was the first Latino solo rapper to go platinum as far as an American rapper in a black dominated industry. He elevated Latino presence in hip hop and was a goddamn lyrical assassin. But then can also get smooth with it. Like somebody said, he the Puerto Rican Biggie. When it was time to get smooth, he could get smooth. When it was time to get lyrical and destroy some niggas, he was on that ass. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Frankie88 who done slid into the chat. Shout out to you. If you are new to the chat, we've been covering the Latino contributions to the hip hop culture, giving props and giving flowers where they, should be given. And if y'all halfway interested, fuck with me, 10K Dre Media over on YouTube, 10K Dre Media, where I'm documenting hip hop year by year, starting from 1970. I'm currently at the year 1984. The latest joint that I dropped out there is uploaded. The latest joint I uploaded was on the international contributions in 1984. So I'm covering, people in like Norway, Sweden, France, shit like that. You know what I mean? I'm literally about this historian shit, covering shit that nobody else is really covering.
Yeah, and knows what they're talking about.
So, once again, before we move off, Big Pun, top 5 dead or alive, without a doubt. Next, we got Ivy Queen. Shorty was a pioneer, or is a pioneer, in women's Spanish rap. She helped bridge the gap between hip hop and reggaeton. She served as a cultural ambassador, one of the first females that we are now seeing in the reggaeton, rap mix by this time. So at this point, the timeline has officially split. Well, not the timeline, but the culture has split. We touched on the contributions of Latinos in American rap. So now, officially from 1997, well, technically even 1994 with DJ Nelson and the behind the scenes work of Vico C. At this point, where we're fully reggaeton and the future shit now. So, Tigo Calderon. I did not know my man was a musician. Do this guy face look familiar to you, Bree?
Yeah, why it look like Denzel with a wig?
No, this is your man that was in Fast and Furious. Like
Oh,
five,
dude, it
six,
is
seven,
him.
8. When they went to Dominican Republic, when they was
Yes,
down in
yes, yes.
Brazil and all that fly shit,
Hmm.
he was in like four of them motherfuckers. He might have been in six of them because they up to part 10. God damn it! But Tigo Calderon, it was a pleasant surprise to learn that he was a musician as well as an actor. This man brought Afro Caribbean identity to Latin hip hop and continued to center blackness, barrio life or hood life, and rebellion. So this go back to the discussion that we had before. A lot of y'all came into the chat. Within the Latin community, there is colorism, which I think everyone can admit is a real thing, just like it's a real thing in North America, it's a real thing in Central and South America. If you look lighter and are closer to white in appearance, you're gonna be treated subject to different laws or treated differently by society. And if you're darker, you're going to be treated other ways. And what you think about, what you identify in here is how you're going to move and shake out here. So this man is a Afro Latino, Afro Caribbean Latino who embraced that African part of his culture as well. So shout out to him, props to him. You know, as they say scientifically, two things can be true. You can be proud of being Latino, and if you got black heritage in your family, you can still be proud of that too. So that's all I wanted to highlight. But this is my man's. I fuck with him even heavier once I realized he was a musician as well as an actor. All right, boom. Y'all know this motherfucker right here. This is the first name that I heard as, just, you know, a regular
Yeah,
motherfucker
same.
that was exposed to reggaeton. I didn't get hip to reggaeton until like probably '05, '06. And then like the quick story, because I got to tell y'all a story and shit. My guy, Aaron, this white boy who I used to work with, cool than a motherfucker. The motherfucker was so cool, I thought he was Spanish. You know what I'm saying? And all he fucked with was Spanish women, so that also made me think he was Spanish low key. So this is the cat I was telling you about. We went to the Spanish club. Some cats was trying to holler at his girl, and after like 3 or 4 times of being disrespectful, he stomped them out, and then stomped the dent in they Benz. But yeah, it was that night at the club that I
Oh
first
yeah, yeah, yeah. That
that
story.
I first heard Daddy Yankee and the reggaeton vibes. I was like, okay, you know what I mean? I fuck with this shit. So that this picture bring back all those memories. So Daddy Yankee, the pioneer of Latin rap, and as far as from an underground standpoint in Puerto Rico, he brought respectability to Latin hip hop. He globalized Spanish language urban music and created a blueprint for business and independence. He is, I'm gonna have to say it, and in the comments, y'all could correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just gonna say he's probably the closest thing to like, he's like their Jay-Z. You know what I mean? He set the motherfucking tone of being just a artist to a megastar slash probably mogul type nigga. You know what I'm saying? Based on at least the shit I was looking at and reading through. So we're gonna keep it moving. J Balvin.
Oh God, they're going hard for this one.
You said what?
No Balvin slander will be tolerated to the Latinas.
Exactly. It says one of the best selling Latin artists. 35 million records sold worldwide. Born in Medellin, Colombia. At age 17, he moved to the United States, then came back and gained popularity performing at clubs in the city. He would later win 11 Billboard Latin Music
Glad he knew where to
Awards.
go back to.
Huh?
That was smart. Like, even though yes, there is a lot of culture, obviously, in the states for Hispanics, that was smart to go back to his roots.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. You know,
I never knew that.
yep. So then he won. He would later win 6 Grammy Awards. BMI Latin Awards named him the Contemporary Latin Songwriter of the Year for his contribution to the Latin music industry. Um, he became the first Latino to headline world musical events such as Coachella, Tomorrowland, and Lollapalooza. The Guinness Book World Records acknowledged him as a leader of a second generation reggaeton revolution. And then it says his breakthrough came in 2014 with the single 6 a.m. featuring Puerto Rican singer Farruko. So I told y'all, when me and my wife, we've been to Puerto Rico at this point at least 3 times. Once this bread really hit, we'll probably fuck around and have a second home or a third home there. Farruko was the first CD that I listened to, like on that whole Latino vibes, like period. Some cat was driving by, we doing the tourist bullshit, we walking through old San Juan, and some cat came through bumping the joint. I stopped them nigga. I was like, what the fuck is that? And then they was like, Farruko. So then we went and walked and found the records, the little record store, copped the CD. We already had the rental. And the whole time we was riding around, we was bumping that motherfucker. But anyway.
I'm crying. I didn't know y'all did all that.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So, like, every time that we've been down there to Puerto Rico, we always get a rental. We never stay in San Juan in the white or the whiter type area. We stay in Carolina, basically, pretty much a sort of hood area. Because I seen cats rolling up on horseback, getting shorty's phone numbers on horseback. I was like, yo, this some hood
What?
shit right here. And y'all motherfuckers in the chat, if you got family down there in Puerto Rico, you know what the fuck I'm talking about, especially if you got peoples in Carolina. So, and a lot of them motherfuckers was my complexion and darker. So shout out to them. J Balvin, that dude, clearly, Anuel, and hopefully I'm pronouncing that shit correct. But like I said, your man here, he got a story. Often called the god of Latin trap by himself and major Latin artists. So it says he was raised where? In Carolina, Puerto Rico. Signed to Maybach Music. Did you know that he was signed to Rick Ross back in the day?
Had no idea.
2016, he dropped a mixtape called Real Hasta La Muerte, which was well received.
Muerta.
You said Muerta?
I'm dead.
Okay. That got well received. His success got put on hold by a 30-month prison sentence. And then your man...
Shit.
Yeah, and then it says he recorded the entirety of his debut album while incarcerated, while his music was getting more popular. My man said, fuck that. He recorded the whole album in prison and then came out and became a superstar, basically. That's gangster as fuck. That's a motherfucking story. July 17th, 2018, the day he was released from prison, the album was a critical and commercial success. He appeared on the Billboard Hot Latin Songs, solidifying his position as one of the top Latino artists. So we give him the timeline of 2014 because obviously, like all great musicians, they was doing their thing, trying to perfect their craft before they came into the spotlight. So that's why I backdated him to 2014. I believe he had got the deal with Maybach Music around 2016 when he had that mixtape. So that's Anuel and we're gonna move on. Shout out to Kev, Houston epoxy artist. Jumping back to America, regardless of what everybody think of him, this man,
he made some money, bro. Like he's Mexican though, ain't he?
Exactly. This man was the king of New York for a legitimate, probably almost 2 fucking years. Did he have a 1 year run or a 2 year run?
No, 2 year, 2 year.
This
Yeah,
man,
2 years.
hands fucking down, was the king of New York, a title that can never be taken lightly. Before everything went left, this nigga had the world in the palm of his hand. Tekashi 69, 2016, had a viral sound and shock value, master of
Well, he
digital.
just never knew what it was to be popular or popping. So he didn't realize that the dudes he met were using him. But if he would have recognized that from the jump, oh yeah.
So, boom. All right, so now we got to go into some backstory on some other shit that I wasn't even going to cover, but we might as well since you said that. Before he linked up with Shotty and them, who was, the later managers, his first manager was this other blood named Snow Billy. Snow Billy did not want Tekashi 6ix9ine to be involved with any of that gang shit. Snow Billy seen the vision. He already seen that he was about to be who he was about to be, but he seen that he would have had a longer run if he would have been kept away from all illegal and gang activity. I mean, he could have been on some Daddy Yankee
Damn.
shit like level
Johnny just happened to get
and bigger. Had he been kept away, Snow Billy was pretty much like an OG in the New York blood, gang situation.
Yeah.
So he the one who co-signed him in the first place and brought him around. But that was his same fucking mistake. He brought him around and trying to bring him around to get him street cred. It ultimately got him exposed to these fucking vulture niggas that would ultimately be, his undoing.
Would be his demise.
Because when Snow Billy got sent back to prison, who was left to fill that management role? Shotty, who was next in line in the hierarchy of that little, situation over there. And then that's when everything started going. It was going up further, but it was going left at the same time. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, Tekashi 6ix9ine, digital.
Yeah, I mean,
he was a man.
robbing his ass because he just wanted to be Mr. Friendly, Mr. King, Mr. Poppin'.
He definitely was a master of digital marketing. He would, use shock value and crazy shit to get your attention by any means. This motherfucker had rainbow colored hair and was still the gulliest, flyest nigga in New York City. So however he pulled that off, I don't know, but salute. Regardless of what happened on the back end of his career, this motherfucker was one of the hottest motherfuckers for that 2 year stretch. No one could question that, period. Next, we got Manuelo, Colombia, another Colombian breed. The Colombians, they said they were taking over the Latin scene.
Yeah, I think they all plug each other in.
Yeah, Manuelo, singer, songwriter, born in Monteria, Colombia, started making music at 13. First became popular in 2016 with the debut album, dropping August 23rd of 2019. It says that his music contains influences from pop, trap, and vallenato. And hopefully I'm spelling that correct. Vallenato, or I'm assuming that's a Y sound, how you pronounce the two L's. But correct me if I'm wrong in the comments once again. He's most well known for his song La Bachata. Then, of course, my man got the picture with the little goat in the picture. You know what I mean? I feel the vibes. He's saying, nigga, I'm the goat. All right, Bree, this one is all you.
Do you like it? Bunny?
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny. That nigga papered up, man.
Bad Bunny.
He is papered up.
Bridging the Latin trap and hip hop gap. Champion LGBT plus visibility in hip hop, mainstream success, and hip hop collaborations.
Yeah, I would like to know how his tours, like what his tour numbers are, because he be selling out.
Yeah, yeah. He, I'm assuming he like that. You know, I'm assuming he on a bad. I mean, Daddy Yankee status or higher at this point.
Higher at this point,
Okay, well
yeah.
there it is. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't understand his music, but he definitely, whoever his producer is, his beats are fire. Because they're very like, all right, I might not know what he's saying, but I'm gonna shake my hips and bob my head.
there you go.
Yeah.
And finally, I think this is the last slide, but yeah, it should be. Carol G, considered one of the most influential reggaeton and urban pop artists. She received awards including a Grammy, 6 Latin Grammy Awards, and 5 Billboard Music Awards. Recognized as Woman of the Year, has 11 Guinness World Records. Born and raised in Medellin, Colombia. The Colombians have taken over the Latin music game. Let's see. She launched her career as a teenager, appearing on the Colombian spinoff of X Factor. She moved to New York in 2014 and signed with Universal Music Latino. In late 2018, her duet Secreto became a hit, and her and Puerto Rican artist Anuel AA publicly confirmed their relationship via the music
Yeah, I want
video
to say I did. Yeah.
at
Okay.
that time. Now I don't know if they still dating, but there that is. So hopefully y'all enjoyed that little tidbit of history, and hopefully this shit is recording as I set it up to. That way I could upload it to YouTube later. But I appreciate y'all taking the time to fuck with me, tap in, and get a little bit of this hip hop and reggaeton and Latin trap history rolled into one presentation. And fuck with me if you want to know more about the actual American rap history. Like I said, I'm only at year 1984, but I'll catch y'all next time, and I appreciate y'all.
All right, we appreciate it. And great presentation, Dre.
Well, I thank you. I appreciate it.